Welcome back to The Beat. Mark Fine, David Aldridge, Kenny the Jet Smith, Frank Isola in New York. Let's get back to it, guys. And the Cavs, home court advantage throughout. All right, we know that. And we've talked about how important or not important it may be, as Frank said. He said it doesn't think it's going to matter. I want to get to this, though, guys. I read an article today where it said, chance of beating Cleveland. This was about Detroit. Chance of beating Cleveland, zilch. No shot. And the article was very, it was well written. The guy explained his case, thoroughly. Here's my thing. Is the chance of them beating Cleveland less than the Hawks' chance of beating the Celtics last year? I mean, when you say zilch, and Kenny, I'll start with you.
Well, I mean, if you look at what Chauncey Billups and Ben Wallace can do, they're not there anymore. It's zilch. I agree. It's zilch. There is no chance that the Detroit Pistons can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. No chance whatsoever.
They got some other names that are still there.
Man, there's no chance. That the Cleveland Cavaliers have set the tone for what the NBA needs to follow this year. Them and the Lakers have shown what a great team is this year. In other years they haven't, but this year they have. I don't think you can turn it on and that quickly. We've had Seattle lose in the first round to an 8 Denver, back maybe 15, 20 years ago. Dallas losing. But those things are historical events. This historical event is not going to happen this year.
Anomalies. We have no anomaly on our hands this year.
The Pistons have Rip Hamilton.
Right.
They've got Tayshaun Prince.
Right.
They've got Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
I can't even convince myself they're going to be. I tried to. Tried to convince myself.
It's not going to happen this year. It's the experience factor, I think, is actually going to play against them because they're an experienced team and they know what a championship team feels like.
Right.
And they know that this doesn't feel like a championship team. And you say the experience will help you. I think it's going to hinder them in that locker room because they're going to say, we really can't win it all, so what are we playing for if we can't win it all? You got guys who are only used to playing for winning it all, and I think that's going to hurt them.
Well, D.A. started for me, and I think when you look at surprises, you look at what the Hawks had last year, and when you get to a Game 7, you never know. Frank, you got my back here at all? Is there any chance?
Well, remember, the Cavs really cleared that Detroit hurdle 2 years ago when LeBron had that brilliant Game 5 in Detroit, and that was with Chauncey Billups. So if Chauncey Billups was on Detroit, maybe they would have a chance. But then again, if Detroit had Chauncey Billups, they would not finish 8th. They would have finished higher than that. So they just can't beat him. They have some professionals on that team, obviously, with a championship pedigree. They're just not good enough anymore.
All right, we do have an injury to talk about in Ben Wallace, and it doesn't appear that it's serious at all. Left knee, patella tendon, I think it was, just walked off the court and, going to sit out the last game of the season. I think actually he's listed as day-to-day, I believe. But is this, again, guys, maybe I'm grasping at straws here, but, maybe a little cause for concern.
Well, I don't know that it's a big cause. They played very well. When Ben broke his leg and was out for 6 weeks, they played very well in his absence. I mean, they played very well.
I didn't even know he was gone, honestly. But what he is, he's gives you 6 fouls. Yeah. But in terms of the way that team played this year, I didn't realize that Ben Wallace was missing. There was not a Ben Wallace story. Yeah. I don't think even written.
The 3.2 points per game didn't do it for you?
But he's a defensive presence.
He is a presence. He would help them in a series against Orlando if they're playing them down the road, and you want to guard Dwight Howard. They could use him at some point during the playoffs. I just don't think that the first round is that time when they're really desperate.
If you Google how many stories, Frank would know this probably because he writes. He still writes. He still writes. He's a newspaper guy as well. But how many stories were actually written about Ben Wallace not being there in 6 weeks? If you're a integral part of a team, there's going to be stories written about you. Now, I don't think there was one.
Frank, you got the answer there?
And I think he really has dropped off a lot in the last couple of years. And, Zydrunas Ilgauskas clearly on his last legs, but he gives you size. And Varejao gives you more energy, really, than Ben Wallace does. And let's face it, when Varejao and Ben Wallace are on the court, they're never on the court together. The Cavs are really playing 5-on-4 on offense, but when you have LeBron, it doesn't matter. So Ben Wallace, I think he'll help them down the road, especially like David said, if they do run into Orlando. So this way they can beat up Dwight Howard. But he really hasn't had a major impact. And if he doesn't play in the playoffs, I don't think it'd be a major impact.
All right, we already had all of you guys basically say that you think they're going to beat L.A. or L.A.'s going to beat them in the finals. But
you didn't let me say that. You didn't ask me what my opinion was.
We discussed the finals.
You didn't ask me my opinion.
Okay, go ahead. Give me it.
I think Cleveland can beat L.A.
Okay.
I think they have a chance.
I think this is the year that the dynasties are back. North Carolina.
Oh, boy.
And
I
the
know
Los
that to work
Angeles
that
Lakers. I'm just saying, this is the dynasty year. So I think this is the year that they come back.
All right, Frank, we got to get your take on this.
Oh, it's unfortunately Kenny's right because I was definitely rooting against North Carolina, but the Lakers are going to win because Kobe Bryant, he's still the best. No matter how good LeBron has played, Kobe's still the best player.
Well, I do agree with that, and again, we're going to talk MVPs later as well. First, though, we are going to thank Isola. Appreciate you joining us on this final. Hey, you have been fantastic on the beat all season long. Really appreciate you joining us when you've had the time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, coming up next, Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated is going to join us, and we're actually going to hand out some hardware. So keep it here. The Beat coming up.